morning. Let's go with this. Get y'all mounted up here in the mount. It's going to be a little shaky. Oh, hold on. Let me do this here. Do this here. Do that there. All right. Now let me get it in the mount here. All right, let me see what that looks like. Okay, y'all. I hope y'all can hear me. Says boop, 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 switch. Come on now. This is crazy. All right, y'all. I'm here this morning. I don't know if we got anybody in here yet. I'm still trying to pull up my chat. I want to pull it up on my other phone with my account. That way I can do moderations and handle all that stuff over my phone instead of having to mess with the camera. I did it once, and for some reason it won't let me do it again. Mark is private? No. Play. Why won't it play this video? Oh well, hold on, y'all. Let me switch to my other account. This don't make no sense. All right, how's it sound? Can y'all hear me? Doesn't seem to have the echo it had yesterday. All right, we'll leave it at that. Excuse me. All right, good morning, everybody. Not my typical live. I normally jump off on the lathe first, but my dust collection system is down at the moment, so no lathe work, unfortunately. I'm gonna work on tying some clips. I have, let's see, about 5 of them that I can put a clip on. I still have to sand off the bottoms of them, but we can sit here and have some coffee and chit chat while I tie those clips on, I guess. So hope everybody's doing good this morning. Woohoo, that coffee is hot. Fresh cup lets you know it. What do I need? Let's see. Maybe I can pull it up on this phone. I have no clue. Excuse me. All right, I'm still trying to find this on my other phone. It's right there. Grumpy's Laid Back Carvings, Clips, and Coffee. I got 2 likes, but it's not letting me open the video. Come on. Anybody know what I'm doing wrong? I'm streaming from my phone. You know, I'm logged into my YouTube account on my phone here. And while I have, another phone right beside me, and I'm trying to log into that same YouTube account so I can control my chat and everything through that phone. And it's not pulling the video up for me. Oh well, let's get with it here. We'll do some babble. I'm just gonna close this one out and we're just gonna watch chat off the other. I have my I can see glasses on, of course, that way I can see what I'm doing. Oh, makes sense that way, don't it? Let's see. Get a few clips out. And I need to epoxy one of my spoons. I guess there was still a little bit of polish on the top of it, and it didn't seal up too well. So the spoon come loose on it. Is what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm gonna waller out the end right there so I can grab it and crimp it onto my stick. And that's a bit on the large side. But it will work. All right, now where's my puller? I'm gonna get started and get everything wrapped up, and I ain't gonna have my puller. There it is. I said before, I tried to put this on a little handle or a little stick, just to hang on to it, make it easier for me to hold because I have to choke it up on a pencil half the time to pull it through. But the stick flips and flops and gets all in the way when I'm wrapping. So the easiest way to do it is just that single string. And then this is my mess of thread from yesterday. I clipped it and then it fell. And I didn't see it and forgot I clipped it and clipped another one. So we'll reuse this one. Should be in camera right here. All right, we got that crimped on good. I'm gonna hold that tail right there and I'm gonna start my wrap. Don't get it too close to that edge when you start. It might lead its way up and flop over on you and try to come unspooled. It's no big deal if it does, just tighten everything back up. But to avoid that, just don't don't start. I was lifting up trying to pull that tag down. There we go. Dropped a video this morning of some Lichtenberg burning. I was missing a clip, which was unfortunate. I didn't realize it until I was editing, and then I started that edit late yesterday and kind of rushed through it last night, getting it done for this morning. Yeah, not my normal video style, but I was in a hurry trying to make sure I had something for today. When my vacuum went out on me yesterday, that kind of messed my plans up. I had an epoxy blank over here that I was gonna turn in video yesterday for today's video, and then edit it down like I normally do. But the vacuum has other plans. Basically. The vacuum cleaner says, nope, we're not doing a clip today. Now, I could carry my lathe outside and set it up on the back porch and spin, but it would have to be wooden clips. I would not be able to do the epoxy outside like that. The epoxy makes too big of a daggone mess. I had like a tent to set up inside to where it would contain all that epoxy. The shavings, that'd be different. All right. And I know today we're not going to get the views we normally get, but oh well. I just wanted to go live. I wanted to check out my microphone to see how my microphone was working today. I picked this up after that event sale that we did. And this is the second time using it. I used it yesterday, and then when I went back and played that video, it sounded like I was in the daggone heater closet or something. It had a major echo, and I guess the reverb was set too high. I don't know nothing about that stuff, and I can't control the settings once I start the stream, unless I can disconnect the microphone, hook it up into another device, and then go into the settings on that device and set it, and then plug it back into my streaming device here. But a lot of back and forth. It's got 3 levels of noise cancellation on there, and I got it on the strongest level, but it did make a difference in the lathe sound and my vacuum sound. You could still hear it, but it was nowhere near as loud. So I guess that's a plus. But I really wanted it to eliminate all that noise. Trying to choke up on this to where I can still hold the tension to it. There we go. Unwrap my puller to where I can pull it through. Ooh, that's tight. Chopping block. Right here. Come on. Oh. I had my knives with me whenever I was taking my son to his appointments yesterday. I was whittling out in the parking lot waiting, so was not ready for my chopper here. All right. There's my pencil. Again, I wrap that so tight half the time. Once I try to pull that on through, if I wrap it up with my finger and pull like that, that string cut will cut my finger. So I just choke it up on a pencil. That way it don't get my finger. And pull it through. And there you go. No knots, no lines, no fuzzies. Another clean rip. And I'll take some super glue and go over that thread here directly. And I still need to sand and polish off the bottom, you know, to round it out. But this is just a little old, I'm going to say popular dowel rod that I turned. Love the color it's got in there. But then I lynched and burned it, and then put my glow resin in there. So, you know, it'll have that glow in the dark to it. It's pretty cool. All right, we got a handful more to tie. So I'm gonna get at it. Let's see. Let's try this. This is another piece of that daggum crepe myrtle. And I know from yesterday it's gonna be a booger to tie it on there. Hey Tim, good morning. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's the exact concept of it is, you know, if you can tie a fly like for fly fishing, or you know, like you said, wrap the eye on a fishing pole, it's the same concept. Uh, That's how I learned how to do it. Back in the day, my biological grandpa, he was he worked with his hands a lot. You know, he had all kind of little hobbies and stuff he did. Hey, good morning, Random. He would build spinner baits and stuff. He played with the he did a lot of saltwater fishing was his main thing, so he would make the saltwater jigs and stuff mostly. But he lived right there on a bayou, so he had fresh water and stuff right in his backyard. But he would make spinner baits and buzz baits and stuff. He would take the hook and he would have him a little jig set up, and he would melt the lead. You know, he would take his hook his wire to his hook, you know, the wire that your spoons and stuff hook onto for the spinner baits. Well, he would tie all that onto his hook and then melt the lead around it and form the jig head for it, you know. And then you had a hook with a long wire coming off. All right. Well, you put your skirt and stuff on the hook, you know, on the little lead head and everything to make it look like a spinner bait. But then you took your tool and, you know, and you bent your wire. You would make your lead so long, you'd make your spoon lead as long as you wanted to, clip whatever size spoons and stuff you wanted to for the spinners and stuff. But yeah, he did all that and taught me how to do that when I was younger. I just don't have I don't have the jig set up and everything to make those. but yeah, he did all that back then, and I guess that's what got me with using my hands. And then I was making my clips myself way back then, you know, and was wrapping them and tying them my own way. And he saw what I was doing one time, and he showed me. He's like, "Look, you need to do it like this," you know. And he showed me how to wrap that fishing pole eye, and I've been doing that in my clips ever since. And it made them clean because, like I said, there's no knots, no nothing like that, you know. So it wraps up and ties nice. Yep. That's about the only daggum good thing I got from down that way. I learned how to wrap my pole, my eyes, or my sticks, because I really don't do the fishing pole wrapping. I've had to replace a few tips, but I don't fish like I used to, unfortunately. Let's see if you can get on there. Sorry, y'all. I gotta focus just a little bit. I got these two little points of this clip, and I'm trying to grab them with that point right there and just put enough pressure to fold it in a little bit, but not slip off and pinch that stick. Because if I slip off of it, the pliers are gonna pinch and split the wood right there, and you don't want that. You want them tabs to make just a light impression, and that's it. Because like it is that is the focal point. This is the spot that'll make or break your clip. If you got it weak right here, some heavy-handed fool like myself's gonna grab it to put something on there, and they're going to end up breaking it. Ooh, there we go. Got that one. Now it's a little crooked. You might be able to see that laying there. It kind of goes and whoop, dogs off a little bit. Wrap it, get it all wrapped up and tied and glued. Once the glue's dry, then you can go back and like I'll show y'all on one. Like this one, the glue and the wrap's all dry. It bends a little bit, you know, you can tweak it around a little bit and you're good. You know, don't go to yoking on it hard, you'll break it right there. But it gives you a little bit of flex, but you want to do it once you're glued and wrapped, because if you try to flex it around right there, you're just going to pop it off with a stick. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I love fishing. Kicking the butt, as it reminds me of my dad so damn good much. And I miss the heck out of my dad. Uh, God bless his soul. He passed away. Shoot, going on 19 years now. But it feels like yesterday. But that was my fishing buddy. We did all our fishing and everything. So yeah, I miss him. I don't do too much fishing anymore because I feel like I'm betraying him because I'm fishing without him. Sounds silly, but that's just the way I deal with stuff, I guess. Still got all my fishing poles. Hell, I got my tackle box right here at my feet. I look at my tackle box almost every day. Shoot, it's been heck, I know 7 years since I got a hook wet. We went fishing with my nephew and my sister-in-law come in town one year. They live in Arizona. When they come in town, they wanted to do some fishing, so we went and did some freshwater fishing at a stocked lake or stocked ponds. But that was the last time I went fishing. Yes, sir. Years. I said I got silly reasons. Uh, some of it was just like I said, my dad. That's just something we did, and I miss it. But other than that, I used to fish constantly. I would run the roads constantly and go fishing. It's to the point that it was an issue with me and the wife. We would fuss because I was always going fishing. So yeah, I broke that habit, quit running the roads, quit fishing as much, and then after that, it was pretty much I would go just with my dad from time to time, and then when he passed away, that was it. He might be. uh, thumping me in the back of the head. That was his little deal. If I was doing something he didn't like, he'd walk by, wouldn't slap me, wouldn't pop me, but just thump me. Dadgum, he had some strong old fingers. Thump. Oh damn! I'd have to rub my head in that spot for a few minutes. And it's like shoot, I almost wanted a butt whooping besides a thump. Oh, memories. Oh, sorry, y'all. I wasn't sure if I was in the camera. That's why yeah, I want to be able to stream this part horizontal instead of vertical. Random. What I was saying last night on the YouTube thing. I have not seen it physically with my own eyeballs on YouTube, but I've watched a video and watched them set it up through YouTube. But they were showing that it's a new setup that they're rolling out that you're supposedly able to stream both vertical and horizontal at the same time, but you have to go through and schedule the stream. Go through, I guess, your studio or whatever and set up a schedule. Excuse me. Set up a schedule that way, and then it gives you the option for both live stream and vertical. And what it does is it's catching your normal horizontal. It crops right down the center of your horizontal and gets that part and puts it on the vertical. So you have to make sure your work is dead center of your screen on the horizontal side, because when they crop it for vertical, that's all you'll see is that center stripe. But it runs both streams. I don't know how to set it up yet. I'm still trying to figure this out. Last time I tried to schedule something, it scheduled, but the times and stuff wasn't right. So I'm still fooling with that. But that's where I saw how you do it. I'll have to try to find the video and put the video up that showed it. But let's see, cut that right there. But hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rock Solid. Good morning, Urban. Can't do my lathe work here, y'all, for probably about a week or so. My vacuum took a poop on me. I've been using that same shop vac for not 5 years, going on 6 years almost, for my dust collection stuff. And it took a poop on me. It had been making some funny sounds. What it was the way I normally did my carvings and stuff, I didn't do as much as fast or as often. And so I would go through, check my bucket, clean my filters, because I have the it's a 6 horsepower rigid shop vac, and I had that running as my dust collector, and the shop vac run to a 5 gallon bucket that had one of them Oneida, fuck, I don't, sorry, had one of them dust deputies on top of the 5 gallon bucket, you know, to separate all your big dust. Well, excuse me, I didn't blow out my filter. I checked the dust deputy, the bucket, and I emptied it because it was slam full. But when I did empty it, like I said, it was slam full. So it had bypassed the bucket, all the debris, and went to my vacuum cleaner. So my filter was stopped slap up. And I didn't realize that the filter was getting that dirty, and I didn't blow it out. And then I went like 2 weeks without blowing that filter out. And then all that stuff was stopping it up. And so slowly my vacuum cleaner was losing. It wasn't losing power. I guess it was. You could hear it, like the RPM and the motor fluctuating a little bit. I'm just a weirdo and catch details like that real good, and I didn't pay it no attention. I chopped it off to it was early in the morning, so you got everybody waking up, getting ready for work, you know, turning appliances on, coffee pots, junk like that. So maybe we was having little power surges. You know, that's why I tried to. That's what I thought it was gonna be, like little power surges making it act funny. But no, I cleaned it out, blowed the filter out real good, got it all set back up and running, and did it yesterday, brand new. I say brand new, it wasn't brand new, but freshly cleaned filter, and I turned the unit on and it run for a few minutes, and then it just, you could hear it, it lost power and shut way down. Hey, good morning. I'm tying some clips because I cannot spin the clips. I got the vacuum cleaner. It said poop yesterday. So, but I did look. I've been looking for about. Yeah, I was hoping it was gonna work, but I have looked and was looking at the different vacuum cleaners to see, because I don't want to buy a new, because I need more dust gathering power. It needs more suction, and so I was looking to see, you know, how much it would cost me to replace the vacuum cleaner and to get one for the same horsepower motor that I got and the same diameter hose, so I don't have to change hoses and all that. I'm looking at like $130, you know. And then looking at the Win and the Vevor, their little bitty wall mounted dust collectors that they have a small little unit. It's like a 7.5 amp motor. It says it's got like almost 600 CFM of suction and all. For I can get that and a different bag that'll hold the dust better, and a flange for my pipes for about $200 is basically what I've gathered it to cost me, close to $200 to get the a wall mount dust collector, and then coupling for the size hoses that I have out here, unless I can just get all new hose. Because I got 2.5 inch hose and the collector runs on 4. And then dropping to that 2.5, I'm going to lose some of the suction. So I'm going to probably have to keep it at 4. But that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm babbling, but I'm going to end up keeping, saving up my money and trying to get that legit dust collector versus another vacuum cleaner. Excuse me, y'all, trying to get some coffee. Yeah, how does my microphone sound this morning? I sound better than what yesterday's was. Yes, they slip right on out sometimes. Yeah, I'm a old, grumpy, retired, disabled. I say retired, life retired me, or I'd still be working, but disabled construction worker. So I got that sailor construction combo mouth. So yeah, I got a good mouth on me. I'm getting real good on toning down all my cussing and stuff too, though, because I used to be bad about it. That's where that daggum comes from. Oh, Robert Peters is picking on me because I keep saying daggum. When I get frustrated, you'll hear me, oh, daggum, because that's my way of not letting some dirty words out. Oh, sound good. Question, how do you get that pattern on the clip? Very, very carefully. You have to look it up. Lichtenberg burn. You'll see them on the, where's it at? I don't have, goodness, where'd I put it? I've made a smaller plaque. I got one inside hung up, but I got another one out. There it is. Okay. All right. You'll see this is the video. This is my video that went out this morning. This is that piece. I got a the bigger setups they do this with, they do it with a microwave transformer. And it's janky, you know, you got to be careful, and it is deadly. You have to be very careful. But yes, it's electric burn. But you put your hot and your negative on there. Do not touch nothing, and you put a baking soda solution, so it will make it conductive. That way the electricity can run through. You know that the electrolytes or whatever in that baking soda is what conducts it all. But you'll put a lead here, put a lead there, and it's a learning curve. You have to, it can't be too wet, it can't be too dry. You got to get the solution just right when you mix it up. Everybody's got their own recipes for it. But yeah, it's dangerous though. Because yeah, that thing, you're using 110 to power it, but you're going through that, those resistors and then power caps and stuff in that transformer, and it's bumping it way up, you know, and yeah, it'll get you. But I have a baby unit. The unit I use is not out of a microwave. It's a neon sign transformer. So it's not quite as much power, but it still will grab hold of you and not let go. That's the bad thing about it. I think if you Google, there's been probably more, but I believe the reported is like 30 something fatalities from doing this kind of stuff. So yeah, if you try to do that, please do your homework and please be safe about it. I use real thick insulated lineman gloves when I go to playing with stuff, and I do not hold my leads while I do it. You'll see some videos where the people are actually holding their leads because they'll just have them hooked into long PVC pipes or something. They're nowhere near the power, but they're still holding the dang thing. You know, and electricity's crazy. It don't take much for that something to be able to be conductive and run up something. So yeah, I just don't touch it. You know, and then my unit has a foot pedal, a dead man switch. So I'll have everything unplugged. I mean, literally, I don't even have it plugged into the socket. I'll set my leads up on my piece that I want to burn, you know, and then I back up, I plug everything in, I turn the power switches on, and then I hit my foot pedal, you know, and that's it. You know, I don't even touch the wood, this wood that my piece is sitting on. I don't touch anything. That way, no current can travel through and zap me. You know, like I said, I don't like electricity. You have to be damn careful with that, you know. And so, yeah, I take as many safety precautions as I can. Like I said, people use the microwave transformers to do it, and them things bite you, and they're not letting go at all. Well, see, that's what I'm telling you. Even with this on 120, it's that's just it. You're going through the power caps and the and transformer, and you're bumping all that way the heck up, you know. So yeah, it'll 110 will stop your heart and put you down. I guarantee you that 240 gonna do the same, or 220, 240 gonna do the same thing for sure. But again, it's safety, you know, safety first. Wear your gloves, use that foot pedal, that dead man switch. Heck, if anything, have a second person watching you and another kill switch on the unit to kill the power altogether. You know, because I mean that's the bad thing about it. If you do touch it, it's that power. You know, your hands like this, you just grabbed hold of whatever you're holding on to, and you're not letting go until it loses that power, you know. So unless you pop a breaker or something like that, you're stuck there, you know. So yeah, I'm a real hot natured, real sweaty person. And so, like, doing this stuff in the summertime scares the mess out of me, because I'll have all that sweat on me, it's like, oh goodness, is it gonna jump out and bite me? So yeah, I do this. Again, I'm careful when I do it. I I can't stress that enough. I don't want to read or hear about nobody getting hurt doing some stupid stuff that I was doing. So please be careful. Well, we got that grand opening Saturday up there. So I'm really, really, really positive and crossing my fingers that I'm just gonna sell a million clips and stuff and be able to get my my dust collector up and going again. Because yeah, I was just into just getting into these lives. I'm still nervous as crap doing it, but it's kind of, I'm gonna say, fun, because yeah, it's fun. I like getting in here and being able to chit chat with everybody, and then everybody chit chat with each other. I think that's just too cool. Um, but the momentum that it was doing for everything was pretty good. I jumped up 100 subscribers in a month just from doing these lives. Oh, I'm looking for my lighter, yo. I gotta burn this thread off the edge right there. It's too long. Oh, and I haven't done that morning medication yet, so it was not readily beside me. But you can buy those Lichtenberg burning sets off of Amazon and stuff, but the big ones are daggum expensive. And I mean, I guess it's good for them to be expensive. You don't want them to cheap out on making one of them. You want some good supplies and stuff in it. But yeah, there's a few companies out there that make them and put them out because that's a big liability. It's like you make something like that and then somebody goes home, sets it up, and fries themselves. Then you got the wife all upset wanting to sue somebody. So yeah, them companies is it's crazy the way they sell that stuff. But it's out there. Like I said, just be daggum careful playing with it. Respect the hell out of it's all I can say. Because that's not going to be one of them scenarios to where, ooh, that tingled. Because if it hits you, it's hitting you. There's not a little bit of a hit or a full hit. That's just it. That's once it makes that connection, it's there. Electricity's going to grab hold and it's not going to let go. I grew up watching Louie the Lightning Bug on TV, and I guess our little safety advocate telling the kids to stay away from electricity. And that little character, he kind of stuck in my head. That's one thing. I'll play with a lot of stuff, but I do not like playing with electricity. I love this fractal burn, and it's like, ooh, I could do that on my roach clips, maybe. And I thought about building me a setup. Then I started watching the videos and seeing it, how everybody was doing everything, and I'm not an electrician. I do not understand amperage and voltage and all that and how it works. I just know is it does not work with the human body too well. Yes, that what Suzanne's been doing on her axes. That stuff there is awesome. What I don't like about that right there, what she's doing is that the way you hook those batteries together. I'm scared them batteries is gonna blow up on you, you know, because you're just crossing out you're just crossing them. You're just dead shorting the batteries together to get your power pretty much. And I've done that silly crap when I was little, plug together two 9-volt batteries and toss them away and watch them get real hot until they pop. Yeah, I'm scared that stuff's gonna pop while she's doing that. But yeah, it is neat watching them do all that stuff. I worked at a car lot when I was little, I say little. Makes it sound like I was a little kid. I basically was a little kid. It was my first real job. I was 17 when I started, but I guess I was little. But working up there, it was a Nissan dealership, and they sold brand new cars, used cars, all that good stuff. You go to these car lots and you see these cars, and they got the gold key locks, the gold emblems and stuff all over the car, the gold antenna trim and stuff. And they'll tell you, oh, that's real gold, blah, 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 blah. Man, it might be alchemy, real gold, or whatever you want to call it, but that is just as plastic can be. But they do kind of like what Suzanne does with that electroforming. They got some pink solution, and they rub it on the plastic and the wannabe chrome stuff that they want to turn gold, and then they hook a power lead to it, and then they take a cotton ball with another power lead and rub on top of it, kind of like she does with those axes, and it'll turn that chrome to gold. And that's how you get your gold trim and stuff on all your cars. I thought that was pretty neat back then. But not neat enough to want to do it myself. Like I said, this, surprised me that I ever bought this little bitty Lichtenberg kit to do it on my clips, but it's just, it took them to another level. And then I've done it on some of my carvings, and some of the artwork pieces I've made. I've added it to it. Yeah, I mean, I've been shocked and zapped many times, but that's the crazy part about that Lichtenberg is just the way everybody's worked it up, talking about the current being so strong and it not letting go and this and that. So it straight scared me. And knowing that there's been the accidents where people haven't walked away, it was enough to make me pay attention. And then, like I said, getting shocked, I've took and put the key in the daggum electrical outlet or something when I was younger and got shocked that way. It was just a pop, kind of knocked me back. Lightning popping in the backyard, and I guess traveling across the ground or whatever, the static, I've been popped through a sliding glass door like that, and then on a telephone, old school telephone back in the day, when it was plugged into the wall and you had the cord and stuff hooking to it. I got shocked that way. Then the worst one for me, because it was like a multiple experience, was I worked at a clay pit, sand pit, gravel pit, whatever you want to call it. They pump sand out of the water on a water barge, and a water barge, all steel. You're in the water, everything's wet. Well, it had some safety issues. OSHA come through and shutting the boss man down because there was some railings and stuff that wasn't on there. So he had to have a local welder come out there and start welding some stuff on there. The barge is still sitting in the water. It's pulled up onto the bank a little bit. My boots was soaking wet, got holes in the bottom of them. They was just construction boots, and I just wore them out. It was time for a new pair. I'm holding, this is a steel pipe, but say 5 inches around. I'm holding it with both hands, kind of holding it up where he was going to be welding. He come over here to do a little tack weld and do a tack weld on the other side so I could let it go and him weld it in place while I was holding. And when he went to tack it, it got me. My arms tightened up. I was like, good God, I couldn't let go. And then he quit welding, and I didn't drop the piece because I didn't want it to break that weld loose. He said, what happened? Did you recharge your batteries? And I said, heck yeah, that thing bit the crap out of me. And before I could finish saying bit the crap out of me, he went to the other side and hit that side. It tightened up on me. I let go, and I come off. Ooh, he's laughing his butt off when he come off of the weld, and I'm cussing my butt off, telling him I don't care if I get fired. I ain't doing this crap. I mean, I was just a Raising Cane walking off of that dang thing, but it bit the mess out of me. And he's up there. I mean, there's a local welder. Everybody knowed him real good. I mean, he was damn good at his job, but I mean, he was laughing his butt off. And I'm like, man, I was mad. I wanted to fight the old guy. I was young and he was older, and I was wanting to knock him out, but I walked on, bit my tongue. Well, I didn't bite my tongue, but I held in that temper a little bit because it wouldn't have done no good to fight nobody over that. But I was dang sure fighting mad. It's the transformer from the microwave that kills. Yes, I know. I mean, you got to have that transformer though. I mean, you got to have that power to ramp up to get that to get enough current to run through and burn the wood like that, that's what you need. That's what makes it dangerous, is you're ramping that current up so bad. All right, I'm just taking a little bit of sandpaper and flattening that right there out a little bit so it don't have no burry edges when I tie it. And then I still have to go back and sand over that, round that out, and do the same with all the bottoms. I have to sand them off and then put a little polish on them. And that's what this is here. Uh, it's just my regular dowel rods that I use when I do the burns. But I when I sa- not once I sanded it all down, I turned around and put some of that Yorkshire polish over it just to make some of the resin a little more shiny, because it's not filled in completely. If you feel it with your fingers, you can catch the groove on that, so it's hard to polish that little bit of resin back to a bright shine. But that's okay. It doesn't need to shine because it's gonna glow. uh, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't like power. And then little hot wires. My grandma and them had had a horse, had goats and stuff like that when I was little up on their property. And so I've been pushed up against one of them damn cattle wires several times. Them ain't no fun at all. The ones my grandparents had, it wasn't a continuous current. It like it charged. So you hit it, it'd be boom, it'd knock you off. You could hit it and still hold it, and it boom, it would shock you. But it had to charge for it. So boom, it would shock you. Boom, it like pulsated through the line. It wasn't just a steady run. And daggum, they had a horse, and he didn't want you on him. If he didn't want to ride, you could saddle him up. He'd cooperate, and he'd get the saddle on. But that daggum guy, he would sit there and walk towards the fence, would not pay attention. I mean, you could pull the snot out of them reins, choking him with that bridle in his mouth. He didn't care. He'd walk right up against that fence and start knocking the crap out of you. He'd walk you up into it till you started getting shocked. You know, you'd have to jump the hell off the horse to get off away from the wire. Old Comanche was his name, and he did not, he was picky. He only liked a few people. My aunt could ride him with no problem. He would listen to her, wouldn't give her no fit. But other than that, anybody else got on there, it was 50-50. One day he was a nice, gentle horse. The next day you would think he was a daggone wild stud that hadn't been broke yet. He was crazy. Then they had a pony that was about the same way. A little hard-headed turd would do what he wanted to do. That was a long time ago. That was back in the only kind of farm days I ever had, I guess, was that. And it really wasn't a farm, but it was. It was out in the country. They didn't have no milk cow or no nothing like that. But my pawpaw had ow, my head. I hit the camera mount. We still there? Yeah. My pawpaw had a quail farm, and so I growed up poor and eating poor, but quail is not a poor food. Quail is almost like a luxury or whatever. And I ate the mess out of that growing up. It was good. Barbecue quail in a crock pot. That is like the best way to have it for me. All right. Babble, babble. Hope everybody's doing good today. If you've jumped in here to watch, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Show Grumpy's Crazy Butt some love. He will appreciate it. Hey, I'm hoping this microphone does good. I got it mainly for the outside lives, like cause these event things, I'm gonna try to do those as often as I can. And that'll be a steady location to try to sell my clips and whatnot. But so much traffic noise and stuff out there when I did it last time, I couldn't hear what I was saying, so I couldn't tell if y'all could hear it or not. So I figured we would go with the noise canceler. I think it's gonna do better than today. I set it up when I set it up yesterday. You could go into the app and set it's like 3 levels of noise cancel. I got it set on high, and then there's a reverb setting and stuff down there in the bottom. And I didn't pay attention to what any of that was and didn't even look it up. So I just set it to low right off the bat, thinking, okay, that needs to be set. But it was giving me an echo yesterday. It made it sound like I was in a damn tunnel or something. And so I set it to off this morning and then changed the little equalizer setting. And then I changed the volume level because you can adjust the volume level of the mic from, I think, 1 to 6 or something. And I had it all full blast yesterday. So I brought the volume level down a notch and then turned that reverb stuff off. And so hopefully I'm not echoing and sounding like I'm in a cave. Cool. Sounds good. All right. The little microphone wasn't bad. It was $29. I imagine there's a lot better ones out there, but I don't know. I've never bought one. This is the first time buying a little microphone or something like that. So it didn't have too bad of reviews, and I figured it was off of Amazon. If it didn't work out, I could just send it back. But it did. I've only used it with the lathe once, and it did quieten it down some. I did go back and listen to the difference it made, so that I wanted it to be like Mr. Roy's headset that he uses. You can't hear none of his tools while he's working, and I wanted one. I'm still gonna get a headset like that, but I wanted to get the microphone first because of the events. And then the microphone, I read up on there, I can attach it to my computer with an adapter because I don't have a USB-C plug on my computer. I just got the USB-A's, but I can get an adapter and go from A to C, and then I can hook it up in my computer. So right now I'm streaming just with my phones. I'm not using any other apps, and I want to use OBS where I can have the 2 camera angles and be able to flip them change them with a button, and then have my music playing kind of like in the background, kind of low like my videos with the OBS. But I halfway got it figured out. I've been waiting for the microphone so I can figure it all out, because I'll go in there and set it up one day, and then with Grumpy's crazy butt, I'll be done forgot how to do it. Unless I do it 3 or 4 times back to back, it's gonna take me a few times playing with it before I remember what to do each time. But yeah, I'm gonna get the OBS set up and go, and I got it, like I said, about halfway figured out. Now that I got the new phone, I'll be able to text with Perry. I got to get up with Perry, the carving wizard. He said he'd try to help me set mine up, and so I couldn't do any messaging and chit chat trying to set it up at first, because I would be using the device that I would be texting on as a camera, so that kind of made it hard. But now that I got the newer phone, I got the 2 old phones as the dedicated cameras. I have to download an app. Let me see, what is it called? I can go through my phone and look at it right here. Let's see, where'd you go? What is that? I didn't download no local news app. Okay, iRuin webcam. It's IRIUN webcam. You download that app to your Android device, then download it to your computer, and you can go through and the app will turn on your microphone and your camera on your Android device and then stream that to your computer as long as you're on the same network, you know, as long as your Android device and your computer are connected to the same network. It could be Wi-Fi or hardwired, but it'll turn your cameras on, you know, and then you use OBS, you know, and then you got your camera feed and microphone feeds with OBS, then you can create your scenes and whatnot. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And like I said, can't set that up when you're trying to set up a device and then talk on that same device. So yeah, now that they're dedicated, it'll be easier to set it up. Droid cam, yeah, yeah. Well, that's that. I guess that'd be about the same thing. I think iRuin gives you, I think, up to four. I think you can do four cams at once, which is fine because I right now I only have access for two, so as four would be plenty for me at the moment. You know, and then I think even if I got set up, like I got my fantasy daydream, I guess, of how I would want my shop and my wannabe studio. That's what I call it, the recording stuff set up. I want a camera in my box. I want a camera at my lathe. I would love to have a camera right there at my computer, pointing down like over my shoulder, watching me, you know, do my editing or whatever. And then I have another station. I call it a station right beside my computer. It's daggum a catch-all spot right now, just covered with junk. But I'm gonna clean that off and make that like an art area. You know, like basically like right here I mix my epoxy and everything in this little confined area, and I don't have enough room to move around and set stuff up, so I'm going to set the spot behind me up and have a camera looking down at that point, you know, so I'll be able to film me making my blanks and everything, you know, and then push a button, jump to the lathe, push a button, jump to the box, push a button, jump to the computer. You know, that's what I wanted to do. That would be awesome. In a perfect world, that's how I would like to go. And then I would love it all to be hardwired. That way there ain't no latency, no lag or anything like that. But you know, then I had to buy webcams and stuff like that. And then I've tried looking into that to see, you know, what would be. I'm on a tight budget. If I get anything, is I'm going to do my homework and get the cheapest version of what I can find. Unless I know for a fact, you know, the cheap crap on that ain't nothing but cheap crap. But you know, then I'll save and invest and get the real deal. You know, I don't want to spend that money more than I have to. Daggum, I hit my camera again. Big old head. My mount for my camera is it's I have to show y'all one day. It's a little homemade jig that I made up. So it's like a one by that slides in and out of my box on a bolt. Yeah, it's hard to describe. I have to video it and show y'all. Yeah. Well, I mean, uh with that iRuin, you'd be able to do it similar to that, but like I said, you just don't have as many camera feeds. It sets up, I think, as four. Pretty much. And then that's it. I mean, that's the whole thing with the dust collection systems and stuff too. You know, I know there's people that's using them Harbor Freight setups and everything and they swear by them. Oh, they work great. They work great. That's awesome. But I'm on that budget. I don't have the Harbor Freight money. I don't have the Amazon money either, but I got to get that dust collector system going. I say the one Harbor Freight has is like what, pushing close to $400. And, but that's like 1,000 and something CFM. You know, that's got good suction power on there. But it takes up a bigger footprint too in your shop. You know, and that's some of the reasons why I went with a vacuum cleaner the way I did was because I could put that under my bench and it's not in the way. You know, it don't take up no room. You know, I need all the room in my shop I can get. You know, and so I try to look at the footprint of everything and the dust collection system that I'm looking at now, it's a small little deal that can be mounted on the wall. And so I've looked around in the corner where my dust deputy's at. All I got to do is trim my shelf, put my jigsaw or my jigsaw up there and trim about 6 inches off my shelf that overhangs a little bit, and then right there where that's at should be enough room to hang up the little dust collector and go from there. But we'll try. I just got to get the fundage worked up. As I said, I'm just going to be super positive that we will get it Saturday. It's just being resourceful too. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and there's something you want to do. That's what I say when it comes to artwork and creating or building or whatever. I mean, technically you have your wrong and right ways, textbook wrong and right ways, but it's like if it works for you and you ain't getting hurt, you ain't hurting nobody, then who's to say that's wrong? So or you got to make a tool because you can't go buy that $300 tool, but you can sit there and play with something that took you maybe $20 to come up with and get the same results. Shoot, power to you. That's awesome. I love it when people can use their hands, and do that, be resourceful, and come up with something they need to make it work. That's what we was talking about last night. That's that common sense. And a lot of people these days don't have it, unfortunately. That's like my lathe tools. I know they sell them, but I like to play with those captive rings, and I use that little bitty hand gouge uh, as a skew, and playing with that, and just doing the way I do it. I look at that tool, it's like, yeah, I could cut that off and have a sharper angle right there, and then put a little bevel right there. I can make perfect little rings. But again, it adds to those hobbies. I need a little bitty forge. I need or a good torch to get something good and hot so I can start banging on some metal. I'd love to make my own tools like that. But again, like I said, that just adds to the collection of stuff that I need. My wife says, "You's a needy individual." I'm sorry. It would benefit me to have this. Does that sound better? And she'll laugh at me. Because yeah, I'm bad about saying I need. But I think everybody needs something. There's always something I need for my crafts. Like I said, it's like the toolbox is never full. Or I'm sorry, it's always full, but I don't know the right word for that. Can never have enough tools. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, I hate that. I hate dentists. But be careful. I hope your appointment goes good. I hope they're nice with them injections and don't cause too much pain. That's the thing I hated about going to the dentist was getting the numbing shots. Daggum old dentist I had when I was little, his hands did that. He'd be holding that syringe coming at you doing this bit. You're like, oh Lord, what you doing with that? Just say, we gotta numb that little spot. But as soon as he went to stick you, that hand quit moving. And it was just as still as it could be. But that thing would be shaking like that coming at you. I wonder how many little kids are just terrified of needles and stuff because of that. Oh, that was old Dr. Turner. He was good at what he did. He was just he. I had him when I was little, and heck, he was old then, and was going to him as I was a teenager. And he got to where he couldn't do some work, some stuff. He'd say, "Yeah, you need to have this done. My hands ain't steady enough no more. I'm gonna send you down here." At least he was good enough to know and admit when he couldn't do something instead of trying to mess you up. All right. Well, we did 5 ties. Now I got to glue them down and let them dry, and then we have to sand them up. Let's see, put me some some stuff down right there. This is that microphone setup I'm babbling about. It's got this little piece. It's small. It ain't that big, and it plugs into the jack on your phone, and then those are the mics. It comes with two of them. You can run two, I guess, to get that stereo sound they say. But I'm not gonna wear two microphones for a video. I think it'll sound okay. And then it's got the little fuzzy sock deal to go over for the wind noise. And that right there, I don't know what kind of fur that is, but that's not synthetic. That's real fur. And then the little microphones, when you pull them out of that, they automatically come on. And that's you plug in while there's docked right there to charge it. And you got a little clip, the magnet where it'll magnetize to your shirt. Yeah. Wasn't bad, I guess. Like I said, it was $29 and some change, so right at $30 for it. Well, you can I've seen it like that, yeah, for the podcast, but it's set up to where I guess you can share it. You know, you have a mic, I'll have a mic, and then they have it set up for uh they call it, you got the mono and stereo mode, and to go stereo mode, you got to run both the mics. So I guess it would be me using them both at the same time. It gives you that surround sound, that immersive, like you can, like when you're playing your games or something with a headset and you can hear the guy walking up from the left or walking up from the right. I'd have to wear both the microphones and spread them out a little bit to give y'all that immersive sound. But like I said, I don't I don't think we need all that kind of crazy detail from my lathe work or whatnot. But like I said, it was just something to try. I said I wasn't sure how well it was going to work. I wasn't sure if it was junk. Still don't know if I like it or not. You know, I got to get my lathe up and going, you know, and do some work with it, you know, everything real loud. The noise cancellation is what I really wanted, you know. So if it doesn't work as good as I want, then I'll send it back. I don't want to waste my money. All right, toothpick, super glue, and clips. Oh, and let me show y'all before I put the glue on there, because once I put the glue on there, I won't be able to roll them around that much. All right, that's crepe myrtle. There's nothing on there, just the natural wood and some knots. I like that one. That's cool looking. But the rest of them are Lichtenberg burned, and you can see the epoxy and the resin and whatnot. I'm trying to get them situated here. Let's see. Boop. Oh, let me close the top of my box. There we go. Try to block off some of that light. There's a delay. There it goes. The light's bright. I'm trying to get the glare of the light off, but let y'all see the glow at the same time. This one's the brightest. I put the most pigment in that one, of course. Then we got the green one next to it, and then two more blue. Yeah, I like that one. That one there glows real good. But green's my favorite color. All right. This one doesn't have as much pigment in it, but it does still glow. All right, now we'll glue them up. I just wanted to show that because once I start putting the glue on there, I'm not going to play with them until they're all dried up. And today's my off day, so it's like today's the day I'd be making my videos for next week and stuff like that. Technically, it's when I normally do it because I don't have no running to do and I don't have to babysit the grand pug. So early mornings was my busy time because I watch Creation Dust 777. He has a live on Wednesdays. I watch him do all his chainsaw work. He's awesome. But I watch his chainsaw lives, and then after his lives, Wowie's workshop. Two Brothers, One Vision. He goes live. And then I gotta watch Wowie go live. I cannot miss my Wowie. I like that guy. He's a pretty good guy. He's got an awesome heart. And awesome energy. Goodness gracious, now that's one thing. Wowie got some energy. All right, y'all. I've used a toothpick to spread the super glue around on the threads. I use that shine, the glossiness, to make sure I got all the thread covered. And then I just roll it around and let it soak in, because the glue's gonna soak in and then it'll connect better to the wood and the metal and all that good stuff. But once I know it's all saturated real good like that, I'll turn around and wipe that excess. I'll dab it off with a little piece of paper towel. About like that. That way it won't drip nowhere. And then we'll set it in the corner right here so it don't touch nothing else. I don't want super glue on everything. All right, we go to the next one. And still need to find my thread. This stuff's a little bit thicker than I like, but it's strong. That's the bad thing with my neuropathy. I'll break that stuff a lot these days, so I've had to go up with a little bit thicker stuff. The thinner stuff, it just wraps cleaner. Ooh, it's trying to drip off. The thin stuff, a wrap cleaner, it pulls down tighter into one another. You can't see the thread as good, the individual strands. When it's thin, it kind of pulls in so tight that it blends up better. Makes the wraps cleaner, I guess. I got a bunch of glue on this one. All right, right there in the corner. Wipe that off right there. I'll probably work up a board. I call them my burn boards. Um, I got some birch plywood. I've showed them in a few. Y'all, if you've seen my live where I was set up out there at the event, those boards that's got the mushrooms and stuff like that, and gnome homes and stuff. That's my burn boards. But I'll probably try to prep up a few blanks, as I call them, just get the board, because I need a router, but I don't think I can router that thin plywood. I think it'll splinter up too bad. So I take a sanding drum and I round over the edges, and I just give the board a little character, so it just ain't a rectangle board. And then I'll put my image on there, and then take my little wood burner. I'll go through and burn my image on. Then I go through and paint everything up, and then seal it all up. But I can't do my lathe work right now, but I can do stuff like that. I can take the boards outside with my Dremel and prep them, and then have something to burn on. Basically, I'm babbling. What I'm getting at is, I guess for my next live, that's what I'll try to do, is have a burn board ready, and I'll just sit here and babble and wood burn. Hey, good morning, Miss Daisy. Hey, how does my microphone sound? Sound a little bit better than normal? Or at least as good. If it sounds worse, if the quality is worse, then I dang sure don't want to keep it. But if I sound a little better, then I'm happy. Y'all go check out Miss Daisy's channel. She's got an awesome channel. Great community to chat in. It's awesome. I love hanging out there. I do a lot of lurking in your lives, Miss Daisy, because there get so many people in there. I feel like if I say hello, everybody says hello back, and I feel like I'm obligated to say hello to everybody, and I get overwhelmed sometimes. So I hide in the shadows. Hey, good morning, William. You're going live tonight? Heck, I'll try to catch it for sure. Central Time, 9 o'clock. That'd be about the time I'm slowing down. So I had a piece blow apart on me the other day. Nothing as severe as that bowl when that bowl come apart on you, but I was doing a little egg. It was gonna be a dab spoon holder, but I was shaping it up to be like the shape of an egg. Here's the pieces of it. What I found. I haven't found the top parts. They're hiding in here somewhere. But the first time I'd ever turned anything on a waste block and hooked to my worm screw and stuff. Normally I use the dead center and live center, so if I get a catch, my piece will stop spinning and I'm okay. Well, hooked up like this on the lathe on that chuck, it got that catch right there and it didn't stop. So it blew off right here. Them pieces went flying and that went flying past almost hit my TV. I was like, no. But yeah. It was gonna be cool. That was the leftover resins when I make my blanks. I have had these little cups, and so I take the leftovers and just take my little cup and put it upside down over one of these cups and let it all pour out in there. And so that's what that was just the stack ups of all my leftovers. So it was gonna look neat, I'm sure, but I guess it had other ideas. But yeah. And then my dust collector took a poop on me yesterday. It's been trying to die on me for about a week now, and I've just been putting it off and be like, oh, come on, we'll make it. But no, sir, it is not collecting no more. It's just a shop vac, and I've been running it for about 5 years doing this, so it's held up for a long time. But about the past month, I've been going crazy carving and spinning, trying to make sure I had enough stuff for them shows. And so yeah, I overworked it, and then I didn't clean it good enough and burnt her up. Mike, what it do? Good morning, sir. Thank you for coming through. I'm just hand tying, or I done tied them. I'm just gluing up some of my clips now. That's what I was saying earlier. I can't spin anymore right now because I don't have my dust collection working at the moment. So I had a bunch of these prepped up and not finished, so I need to finish them. So it's like that's what I can do. I can't spin no new ones right now, so I'll tie up the ones that I got, right? Ooh. Yes, sir. Have a good day. Be safe. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Sounds like my big dog is at the back door. And it's 6:46. She shouldn't be up yet. Yep, she just hit the door again. Let me get this glue spread out. I'll let her outside real fast, y'all. She's been sleeping all night. She might have to do her morning pee-pee a little early. Ooh. Y'all see that go to rolling away? That's why I try to keep everything out of the way. I mean, I got glue all over something. All right, get the excess off of there. Put the cap back on here. That's not good. Oh. No, I don't like being sick. Is it a cold or pukey sick? I hate being pukey sick. I can handle a cold. Come on. Come on. Sure, y'all could probably hear me. I'm at the door letting my boo. It's foggy out here this morning. Come on, go be good girl. Go be good girl. A little bit of both. I hear you there. But hey, you're a trooper. You got to work through it. That's some people, they get a little old headache and it's time to call out. They can't do nothing for the day. Right? There you go. Don't like that feeling. I don't drink as much. Used to drink a lot when I was younger, but dang sure don't like that hungover feeling at all. Come on, go be good girl. Come on, let's go. Go be good girl. She got to sniff the ground where we had daggum possum or something running around. They don't stay outside at night or nothing like that, so the yard critters, they don't feel scared running through my yard. We got pit bulls in the yard next to us, and so don't nothing play in that yard because they ain't gonna let it. Excuse me. But we have daggum armadillos, possums, and raccoons and rabbits like to come up in the yard. And so she'll walk around in the mornings and sniff everywhere they've been. Come on, you done? Come on. Come on, let's go. Come on. Oh. Go lay down. There we go. Other little guy still in the bed, I guess. Oh. Got the. Oh, good morning, Heidi. Got the Labrador Pit Bull Blue Heeler mix, and she's about the size. She's about the height of a Labrador, a little bit taller than your pit bull, but she's thick like a pit bull, and then got the salt and pepper, white and black hair on her chest and her paws like a blue heeler. And she acts like a pit bull with the way she likes to play and be the little Velcro puppy, as they call them, because it tries to stay stuck to you. And she's a grumpy dog. She's supposed to be my wife's dog, but with me being disabled and home all the time, she's gravitated to being my dog. But then we got the damn little Chihuahua that thinks he's a Rottweiler. It's a daggum old though. He's going blind and deaf, can't see. He can't bite nothing. He's losing most of his teeth. We have to feed him soft food because he can't eat hard food. He's old. Hell, he's like 16 years old. Doing good for an old dog, though. I ain't never seen an old dog be as. He's overweight. As the vet told me, I need to put him on a diet. But shoot, he only gets. You got your canned dog food. He gets half a can in the morning and half a can in the evening. It's like, how much more of a diet can I put him on? And dadgum vet says, you think a quarter can? I'm like, no, I'm not starving my dog. A quarter can ain't 2 bites and he's done. That animal needs to eat more than that. But shoot, for 16 years old, he gets around real good though. Comes time to eat in the morning, he jumping up and down, acting all crazy. Oh, make sure we're in camera here. But yeah, hopefully Saturday night I can order a dust collector. I got my fingers crossed. Cause yeah, I have to get my LaidBak going. That's my daggum sanity. I need to go ahead and take this time to take the lathe and pull the brushes out of the motor and blow it out real good. And I got a set of new brushes for it. I'll have to see. It's not it's not dead, but it's like when I turn my lathe on and it's set at like the lowest it'll go on the dial because it's got that little variable speed, you can hear the lathe kind of it kind of drops back and forth on its RPM until you bump the knob just a touch. So it's either my knob is just getting a little wear in it, or it's the brushes, because it's got that brush motor like your Dremel, and that's what it's acting like. You know, when your Dremel brushes start getting a little gunky, it kind of hesitates and sputters a little bit. It does that, but when it runs, it'll run, you know. So yeah, I'm figuring it's the brushes. All right, that's a number 4. And then this will be number 5 to glue up. And then I have to mix a little bit of epoxy for my for one of my dab spoons. I UV epoxied it in there, but the UV epoxy doesn't grab good. I got some 5-minute JB Weld epoxy, and it works real good. It's old as dirt, but it still works good for holding them spoons in. Got my back door open now. You probably hear my neighbor's dog barking. He's not in timeout, but he's in timeout. He's an inside dog too. They got a fenced in yard. Um, they let his little goofy butt outside and don't put him on a cable. Boom, he is gone. He jumps the fence or pushes out a hole. He will not hang out in the yard. He wants to run the neighborhood. He's not mean. He don't go out getting no mischief or nothing. He just does not want to hang out in the yard. And we got leash law and stuff around here, so then your dog gets picked up or something too many times. They give you a warning or something first couple of times if you don't get run over, you know, so much traffic. But then after a few times of them getting out, they'll start giving you a fine for it and stuff like that. So they have to put him on a cable so he don't get out the yard. So they wake up, put him outside, and he barks the whole time. He don't like to be on that cable. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be on it either, but I guess if his dumb little butt wouldn't run, he wouldn't be on it, right? Okay, the glue mess. We gotta make sure they ain't got no glue nowhere. I did one of my epoxy clips one time and glued them down like, ooh, that ain't good. Blow that dust all over that wet glue, dummy. It's like, dummy. I don't do that. Okay, but squirreled out right there. Where the hell was I at? Oh well, there you go, y'all. Squirrel. I hate that. That's what you call concussions, Bubba. Concussions. Some people's like, you just a stoner, you can't remember shit. No, sir, I got hit in the head too many damn times. I forget stuff too easy. Now I need a water bottle. That's my good water bottle. Looking for a cap, y'all. Hold on just a minute. Oh, gotta hydrate, y'all. I needed an empty cap for my epoxy. That helps too. All right, where's it at? This is the one that my daggum, it wasn't staying in there. The hole is tiny. It don't barely fit. And then I couldn't get that much resin to go in there, so when I went to seal it up, it didn't seal up good for me. No, you pulled the spoon out of there, it makes a little pop sound. And it's almost airtight. Alright, we're gonna try to do it without hooking the drill into it. Yes, sir, definitely got delayed. I said that's my sanity. It's my Xanaxes these days. I don't do the opiates or nothing like that for my damn craziness. I don't know no pills. It's blood pressure medicine and that's it. Other than that, it's herbal. And so I stress the hell out instead of taking the pills. I come out here and carve. And then with the neuropathy going on, Power carving, I love it, but it don't always love me. And I get real crazy in my work, you know. So if I see something and it's like I'm doing something, I get a line off to the side, I know it's there. I will flip out until I can get it gone. And so that stresses me out more. And the carbon is supposed to relax me, right? So yeah, I tend not to power carve as much anymore because of that. I do more lathe work because it's just I can I can handle those tools, and I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Translate the motions I want into those tools better than I can in the power tools because the power tools I get a burr, or I get a catch with the burr, and like I said, it'll pull me off to the side. The lathe really ain't much no different, I guess, because you get those catches with the tool. But then, like I said, I don't use the chucks too much. I use the dead and live centers all the time because I get heavy handed like that. So when using those dead center and live center, if you get too heavy, the spindle will just stop. The motor keeps going and that piece stops. It makes it harder, and I guess it makes it take a little longer on turning some pieces because you can't get as aggressive with the piece. And so that makes it take a little longer. Oh, excuse me, y'all. But other than that, I don't get bad catches. I do. It'll catch on me all the time. But like I said, the piece stops instead of it breaking. Oh, 7 o'clock. Only got 30 minutes. This is that epoxy, the 5 minute epoxy I use. It says it's gotten old. It's yellowed out bad on this side, but it still cures and gets hard, and you can't see it. Like I said, I use just a little bit, and most of it goes down in the damn thing, so it works out good. Just a little bit cool out here this morning, so I don't know how thick it's gonna be to get it to go out, but I'll squeeze out a little bit in the little bottle cap right here. A little bit of part A, a little bit of part B. I don't even need as much as what I put out. I just need a bunch. I need enough to get it to mix up. And you do about equal parts of each. Put that up. And I just use a Q-tip, break off the cotton ball to help mix it. That or a toothpick. Q-tip is a little thicker, makes it a little easier. Oh no, on my finger. Paper towel. You keep your paper towels ready. Mix this up and get her good and gooey. Get it on that spoon and get that stuck, and then that'll be it. I got another spoon to do, but I still have to drill it, and sand the bottom. I got to sand the bottoms of all these clips that I've tied this morning. So that'll give me something to do throughout the day while I'm watching other lives, while I'm watching Josh and Casey do their thing, and then watching Wowie. I'll be sanding. You just mix this up real good, because if this ain't mixed good, it's not gonna cure. Gonna stay sticky and gooey. That should be mixed up pretty good. You used to do it on a little old scrap piece of paper or something just the same, but I like the bottle cap because I can clean the mixer and keep it all in one little spot better than I can on a piece of paper. Piece of paper, I end up spreading it out about the size of a $50 trying to mix it. And then again, I don't even need this much epoxy, but it just in order to make sure you got it mixed, I only need what's on the stick right there. Just a little bit. too much and it's going to gloop over and go all over the place. And then that hole so damn tiny. Okay. Now I learned this. You do it upside down and push it on there. And when the excess starts to build up, instead of it running down all over your wood, it'll try to run down the piece. And it keep it this cleaner. And you don't want daggum epoxy and stuff glooped up all over what you just carved. You can't see it because I'm upside down, but that pushed in and didn't leave a mess all over the stick. And if y'all can see now, I've managed to get the epoxy up and down the stick and just a little bit on the tip. I'll take that back off, get just a little bit more on there again. I'll do that a couple of times to try to make sure I have epoxy down in that hole. And again, put it on upside down. And it feeds in there better without glooping up onto your piece. Good morning, Mainly. I learned that the hard way. All right, now this is building up so thick on my piece right there. That means that it's all up in the hole real good. It's pushing it all up. So I'll take that excess back off of there and then go again. Trying to wipe off that excess. I got a little bit of a drip trying to form right there on the tip, but it's so thick it's not going to drip off. But then these Q-tips I use, these aren't your normal Q-tips. They come to a fine point right there. And that'll help me pick up this extra and get that off of there so it's cleaner. There we go. 5-minute epoxy. It's nice and thick, so it's not gonna run back down right through there. So there's just a little buildup right there, but it tapers up into it, so it's got that flow. Still got that flow instead of being a little old knob or I don't know, clean. All right, let's see. We don't have any more that need glued because I don't have any drilled yet. This has got to go back. This is not being sold. This has a home already. I'll put it back there. Those should be about dry. Yes. See, super glue dries quick, stays nice and shiny. Them threads aren't going to get burnt, snap, fray off that good. That's why I glue it, to protect the thread. But all of them are dry. I had one, that one. Oh. Yeah. So this is when I go back through and tweak them, make sure the clip's straight with the wood, all that stuff. Not bad. Not bad. And then we do the little open test to make sure it's going to open good, because sometimes the base will come back and make contact right there and not open up all the way. And so if that happens, where's my tool? If that happens, if you put them on there and you can't push it down to get it to open all the way, you take your tool, you grab it right there on your flap. Hold the base of your stick and everything, support that so you don't break nothing. But you take your tool and you grab the piece that you push down and turn it upwards just a touch. So it'll come down and point out some, and that gives you more leverage to where you can really get it to open up. It's only going to open so far anyway, so that one's maxing out because it's, you can see right there, it's not going to go down much more. But some of them, if you turn, that's why I have to turn them so thin. If you turn it and it's too thick right there, whenever you hit them, like that one's almost, but then again, it goes just right past it. Quality control, quality control. Got to make sure they're going to work good. If I can't use it with my big old fingers, then I don't think nobody else needs it, right? All right. Those are working order. We like it. Throw this mess away. Oh, that's what I was squirreling on earlier. I did that gun, was doing some epoxy clips and was doing my super glue and drip my glue on and stuff. And if I don't catch it, the drip will fall off and hit the table. Well, I wasn't used to putting nothing down right there, and I didn't see a drip sitting there. And I'd finished my stick, and then I'd set it down right here so it could be in camera good. And I went to pick it up a few minutes later. And when I picked it up, there was a big old chunk of white glue on the side of my clip. And it was one of my epoxy clips. And I was like, oh no. And I tried scratching it off and it left a daggum real hazy spot. So I salvaged it, I was able to save it. I had to polish it up real good on that spot again. But yeah, live and learn. That's why you'll see me wipe this down every time now. Part of that common sense, got to build up that common sense. And so, yep, them life lessons. That's the best way to get that common sense is to live and learn. But that's what we did. All right, y'all. Those is what I tied this morning. Crimped and tied. Let's see, where's he at? We fixed that one to where the spoon's not gonna come out. It's got a slight lean. But this is long. I normally don't leave the spoons as long on there. I normally shorten them up just a touch, but this is gonna have a little different purpose, so I need that to be long. But let's see what we got. I think that's it, y'all, for today. At least for the live. I need to go through. I need to get the old man puppy down out of bed, put him outside. He needs to go do his business this morning, and I need to feed everybody. And this guy here, I've been looking at him and looking at him and looking at him. I'm just not happy with the way his whole face and all looks. I need to. His cheeks and everything is too big compared to the back of his head and whatnot. And so that's why I've had it hanging up there forever. I don't really like the way he came out, but I need to finish him and seal him up so I can put him in the sale. I'm sure somebody will buy it. I know I'll put some glow in his eyes. There's a little bit of epoxy in there, so I thought they might glow, but it don't glow. But yep, we got a bunch to do, a bunch to finish. Just got to keep myself busy. I gotta keep my momentum going. I've been so busy doing this channel and working out, trying to make everything go good, and so I've gotten that routine where I'm doing, and it's now my daggum vacuum cleaner's down, and that just messed my routine up. So, but I got to stay busy at it. Like I said, I got enough to do. I got enough to sell for the weekend, so hopefully it'll all balance out. I do need to work on my watcher for Wowie's watcher challenge. I don't know if any of y'all are keeping up with that, but Wowie's workshop and Jordy Johnson are doing, well, they're doing a Christmas challenge and everything too, but doing this watcher challenge, and it's Wowie's watcher. It's you have to watch his videos to see how he does them. They're pretty cool, but go back and watch the video to catch all the rules too. But yeah, it was going into I think you had until December 1st, and it was like with me, I procrastinate stuff like that real bad, and I'll wait until the last minute and slam it out. And then the dad come, hey, good morning, Happy. And then the dad come late. the vacuum taking a dump on me, that messed me up right there. It's like, man, I can't work on my washer either. I can take it outside and power carve it outside. That's the cool thing about it. I just don't have a good tripod to set up outside to video myself power carving, or I could do that for my lives too. But again, we got to buy stuff for the channel and to make it better. And it just I get my wish list or my checklist going of what I need to get, and then something else messes up and changes my whole order. But we'll get there. That's the whole thing about life is you got your ups and downs, right? That's what makes it fun. So yes, sir. We will be back tomorrow. I will figure out something for another live tomorrow if I don't get something going for my lathe. I have a small vacuum that I was gonna hook up to my lathe this morning, a small shop vac, but it does not run into my dust deputy, and the filter system on it is nothing like my big vacuum. It's only got a little old dinky sponge filter around it, so I know that won't be good. I'll be blowing dust all in the garage with that, so I can't use it, but we'll get it figured out. Let's see. Oh, get y'all out of that mount. Let's see what we got going here. Let's see chat better on this phone anyway. Oh, there's my mess. There's some exotic pieces right there my wife bought me a while. She bought them for me for Christmas last year. And I turned, where did it go? It's buried up in my corner somewhere. There it is. I turned a piece of Purple Heart. What I wanted to do with that was turn it down and make my inserts, because I'll put these in my epoxy blanks, so I have wood in the epoxy so I can spin it down and have wood to attach my clip to. Well, I want to stabilize my wood, dye my wood, all that stuff for my clips. But until then, my wife bought me the exotic wood, and I spun it down to where I can't. Hard to do this one hand. I spun it down to where it was about the same size as my insert, minus the size back here, and I made a mushroom into this, and this was a Purple Heart, and you see right here, I polished it like a dummy. Okay, I didn't think about it beforehand, but I spun it on the lathe, then turned around and polished it with the Yorkshire polish, you give it that nice color like that, it nice and shiny, Well, doing all that's fine and dandy if that's how you're leaving it, but my goofy butt was encasing it I was encasing it in epoxy. Okay, not a problem. We made the blank. It worked good. It was there. It's in the epoxy, but see, here's the other half of it. I haven't turned it because I know it's not gonna turn. But I did the blanks and made it like that there, it's where I have the mushroom inside my blank, and it's not as solid. So I was hoping to be able to see through it, once I turned it and polished it. That's all good. That will work in principle, but you don't need polish on that piece, because guess what? Polish on that piece, the epoxy don't want to bond to it too good. So while I was spinning this piece, when I was getting close to the wood, if I had a slight catch, it would just rip a chunk of epoxy right off of it because it wasn't bonded to the wood. It had like a mold release. Basically, I put a mold release on there and then tried to put the epoxy around it. So live and learn. I know I can't do that, but I will take these and spin them down to the end of it, to the thickness of this, and then put me some shapes on there like I do my clips, and then put a clearer resin around it to where you can see the wood inside plus the wood the shape outside. That's the goal. And then I don't know if, yeah, I'm not gonna give out all my secrets and my ideas, but that's some of it. But yeah, I have a video what not to do, and I never finished editing it, doing the edit work for it. And but yeah, that was what not to do. You don't put polish on your wood when you're gonna soak it or seal it with epoxy, because the epoxy won't stick to it. But all right, y'all. Y'all have an awesome morning. Everybody stay safe out there. I hope your Wednesday is just wonderful. And don't forget, check out Where we go? Here he is right here. That's his newest sticker right there. Creation Dust 777. He'll be going live in a couple of hours and he does some awesome chainsaw work. Then you got this is Wowie's Two Brothers One Vision at Wowie's workshop. You got to go check him out. He'll be live after Josh and Casey are. But all right, y'all. Y'all have an awesome morning. Have an awesome day. Stay safe. Stay laid back, and God bless everybody. Thank you so much.